So, the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs and real estate investors like us, ones who want to grow our businesses and who are tired of paying for really expensive alternative lending, how do we tap into the most inexpensive money available and do it without the hassle of typical borrowing? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. I'm Merrill Chandler, and welcome to the Are You Effable podcast. Welcome back, everybody. This is Merrill Chandler, and I have got an Are You Effable episode for today. We're going to be talking about a mindset shift, a paradigm shift that's going to change how you look at lenders and exactly how you can improve your approvals. So I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So Merrill Chandler here, your host of Are You Effable? And today we're going to be talking about what it means to shift the relationship that you have with your lenders, right? We're going to change the entire paradigm of what borrowers and lenders, how they relate, and what is in it for you if you're the one to choose first. All right, so let's get to it. First and foremost, one of the things that we need to be aware of is that, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, but for hundreds of years, lenders have had 100% of the power in the borrower-lender relationship, right? Over the last few years, those lenders have now empowered, have charged, have transferred the approval authority to software. Okay, we call it automatic underwriting software, automatic underwriting systems, AUS. They lose money. Lenders lose money when they manually underwrite a loan, a credit card, credit line, etc. They don't want to do that. They want to make more money, and they want to protect themselves from fraud, etc. And so all of these automatic underwriter systems are developed, are designed to approve you if you match certain criteria. So we've talked about that before. Borrowers who know what that criteria are, now the software just says yes or no, approved or denied, or maybe approved for a little bit lower limit or a higher limit, but it's approved or denied. When you know what it takes to get approved, you have 100% of the approval authority. You're in charge now. All right, so we've said it again before, we're going to say it again, but now we need to understand that with this approval authority in the hot little hands of the software, it gives us a chance to develop a different kind of relationship with the lenders, right? So let's take a look historically, the players of the credit game. So on the left, you've got Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Those are the personal credit bureaus that report to your personal profile. Then you've got your personal lenders, or the divisions of these corporations that lend to you personally. In the center, you've got FICO. And then over on here on the right, you've got the business lenders and Dun & Bradstreet and Experian Business, Dun & Bradstreet Business, Equifax Business Credit Reporting. Now, they all focus 100% of their attention on you. 100%. They're making money off of you, they're marketing to you, and you are the only player in the funding game who hasn't had really a clue about how the game works and how to win that game, right? So, have you noticed that in the back of your mind there's this feeling, this sensation that there's an adversarial relationship between you and the lenders, right? That adversarial, like us versus them. All that information that they have on you feels a little intrusive. It feels a little invasive, right? Well, they're just measuring our behaviors, our spending behaviors, our credit behaviors, so that they can protect themselves from fraud and loss. But what if we were to change that perspective? What if we were no longer adversaries, right? So let's dive a little deeper. When do lenders actually make money, guys? When do they make money? Only when they lend. So it is imperative that they lend in order to make money. But we're sitting here going, why don't they lend me money? Because they have to protect mitigate and ensure that they do not incur losses, right? If you're a private lender, you would do the same thing, right? You're going to base all your private loans to friends, family, or otherwise, to people that you would trust to return the money and make a profit by it, right? So lenders only make money when they lend. So they need us. Now, here's what's hilarious. Lenders do not have goals, dreams, and ambitions, right? They have quarterly returns and ROI, return on investment, quarter by quarter. They don't have this, they don't frame their accomplishments the same way you and I do. So your goals, your dreams, your ambitions are the things that actually drive their profits. So if our goals, dreams, and ambitions drive profits, how do we create a win-win? How is it that we establish a relationship with lenders that's not us versus them, right? Not adversaries, we're not on opposite sides of the table, but we're collaborating on lending. So the best way to describe that is by turning this us versus them to a partnership, to create a partnership with lenders. Now, as I say in my book, there's an entire, in the introduction to my book, I actually go into great detail about this. And there's a whole bunch of distrust, right? Lenders distrust borrowers because they think we're liars, cheaters, and thieves, and we're going to take advantage of them where we can. We're going to submit fraudulent applications so we can get more money. We don't trust the lenders. We don't trust the lenders because we think they're going to take advantage of us, right? I even do podcasts that are called Liars, Cheaters, and Thieves, showing how, if not lenders, then brokers of lenders are not telling us the whole truth. So we have this whole relationship of distrust. The only way to become partners is for somebody to go first. All right? You've heard it in, I don't know how many of you are in a relationship. Somebody has to go first. When you have a fight, somebody has to go first. The thing is the person who goes first frames the relationship. So whether I'm giving you relationship advice now or how to work with your lenders, I'm saying the individual who chooses in first, who comes back to begin to collaborate again, to the person who chooses to reconcile, you also get to frame that reconciliation. So when it comes to lenders, the way we want to frame this reconciliation is best described by us talking about the funding bullseye, right? We've talked a number of times. When we hit that lender criteria, right? Their approval criteria, they give us money. That's the bottom line. But when we hit the funding bullseye, not the outer rings, because even though they make higher interest or they may have more fees, they also don't trust the data as much as when we are literally dialing in every single data point. We're filling out those applications perfectly. We've cleaned up all of our online data with the credit bureaus, the early warning systems, and Falcon. When we have done our work, and we fill out an application and we hit that underwriting bullseye, guys, we are doing the lenders a solid, not just us. That's us choosing into the relationship. When we're saying, oh, by the way, you can trust us because, look, we have been fastidious about how we have organized, developed all of our data so that, and how we're behaving. The way we're behaving is exactly what you need to feel confident, right? And when I say you, the underwriting software. But even if you bump into manual underwriting because we haven't got it right yet, the whole point of all that, all those documents is to prove that we are telling the truth. If our behavior tells the truth for us, then that's why we stay in automatic underwriting. So we need to hit the funding bullseye. We don't want to hit those outer rings because there's still problems with the data, and those problems will exempt us from being approved or lower the amount of our approvals. So the easiest way to get those approvals, guys, is as we've discussed. We're going to discuss in future episodes, step by step, every little piece of this. But building a fundable personal borrower profile. I know it's a mouthful, but when a lender looks at you, you're reconciling the relationship. You're not adversaries anymore when you come to the table and say, oh, by the way, here is my data. Feel free to measure it. I am proud of how well I show up. Now, over here, we got to know what we're doing. But every time we file an application, we're saying, check me out. I want you to be able to trust that I have your best interests at heart. Think about it. Now, we're not saying that in the little notes down at the bottom of the application, right? We're saying that with the clarity with which we file that application. Having studied, know what the underwriting criteria are and what the approval guidelines are. But every time we submit an app, we're saying, check me out. The problem is you haven't known that that's what you're saying. You're like, pretty please, can I have some money here? I'm going to give you the information you need. I may fudge a line here, do a thing here. But we're asking for money rather than, hey, partner, here are my bona fides. Here's how awesome I am confident that I have your best interests at heart. Okay? Now, do you know what fiduciary responsibility is? We're going to cover this because everybody puts fiduciary responsibility on the lenders. All right, so now we're going to go back and we're going to do a little bit of math here on some of the other things we've talked about. Remember how I said lenders have had all the power in the borrower-lender relationship, but they transfer that power to the software, so now the borrowers have power when we know what we're doing. Think of it this way. Fiduciary responsibility is when the more powerful of the parties in a relationship, they have the responsibility to look out for the best interests of the other party. That's fiduciary responsibility. Take care of the less powerful person in the relationship. Now, this is what's awesome. Since the power shifted to the borrower, who's the most powerful person in the relationship? The most powerful party is the borrower. If you walk into this relationship and you're like, Mr. Lender, Chase, Wells Fargo, PNC, BB&T, whoever, I got your back. My behavior, the way I show up in the world with my personal credit, my fundable business entity, everything about me has your back. I am here to look out for your best interests. Are you following me? If the power shifted to the borrower, then so does the fiduciary responsibility. Ours is the responsibility to take care of the lender. Now, all of a sudden, and we do that through our behavior. All these borrower behaviors that are being measured, when we pay our payments exactly the same way, when our reporting date synchronizes with our due date, when we're carrying the perfect balances to let them know that we're responsible for and treat their money with deference and respect, when we have a fundable entity that says your money is safe with me in this entity, all the things we're going to be covering in episode after episode, when we can tell them that through our behavior and our data points, then the lenders are like, psh, you got it, partner. You deserve my money because you treat it. Look at all your behavior. You treat it with deference and respect. So I'm willing to give you not just some, but more and more and more. And then we're back to the manual or the automatic limit increases, right? Every 6 months, 12 months, new money, more money, because our behavior says it's safe to give us more money. Got me? All right. So the way I'd like to kind of to weave this then is what I call the parable of the NBA draft. All right. So let's say that you are one of those spectacular players, literally coming out of high school. You don't even have to go to play college ball because you are a badass on the court. You learned early and young, not just the rules of the game, but every time you get the ball, you score. So it may be evident to everybody, but I'm just going to outline. The ball is credit lines and credit instruments that lenders give you. The team owners are the team owners are the lenders. They're looking for borrowers. They're looking for players who that they can trust to not just play on the team, but to give them the ball to score. Every time we score, that is a return on their investment, and of course it's a return on your investment. Your stats. Notice when a scout goes out and looks for you, what they're looking for are your stats, right? Those are your data points. Those stats are, it isn't just does your team win the game or not. It's how do you show up in all the ways. How often do you foul out? Are you reckless? Or do you push the envelopes, right? Are you the 10-second player, right? When you're on the sidelines, 10 seconds left, we want to make sure you get the ball because you're going to have the highest likelihood of scoring. This entire parable, this entire analogy is dependent on you knowing how to play the game to win. Then lenders are going to scout you out using all of your data. And the way you do that is through your applications, through your borrower behaviors, through all of the FICO 40 and all of the underwriting criteria that lenders look at. Guys, they want to win their games. They want to win the championships, right? That's what lenders do. But they're in it for the long game. Remember the Jazz and the Bulls and the Mavericks. All these teams have been around for decades and decades. Players haven't. Players come and go. But these team owners are in it forever. Just like the lenders, just like banks, just like financial institutions. They're in this forever. And they're looking for the next player to play this game and get them the next championship. And then they direct the managers, they direct the teams, give them the ball, give them the ball, give them the ball. And every time we get a new credit line, every time we get a new commercial loan, every time we pick up a new real estate loan, every time we pick up more money, we score because we're spectacular at the game. Does that make sense? Are you with me? I love this metaphor because they are scouting you. They are scouting you. They want you on the team. And the only way that you can even raise their eyebrows like, what? Have you seen that New Jersey borrower? Holy hell, they are amazing. Look at their stats. Well, are you effable means, are you a baller? That's bottom line. Are you a baller? Do you know how to get the ball and score? Are you a team player? Do you look out for the best interest of the team, right? How many times do we see situations, to really push the metaphor, how many times have we seen situations where players have done things in their personal lives that not just cast a shadow on the team, but ruin the chances for championships, or they don't get to play, or they're out of the season, right? Or financial injury. You guys, the bankruptcy, we don't know what we're doing, so we have financial injuries, the bankruptcies and the late pays and all the things that just knock us completely out of the game for the rest of the season. Guys, they want amazing players representing their teams. And you now, because you're binging this, I'm presuming you're binging it, because you are binging how to become fundable, you're also studying how to be draftable, how to be the first round draft choice of any player that submits their stats to the team. So I don't want to beat the daylights out of this metaphor, but I already have. So, guys, think about it. Do you want to play for all the bank, tier 1, tier 2 institutions, everywhere we're going to get these credit lines, these commercial loans, they're huge teams that have lasted forever. They're doing something right? They know how to make money on their money. They're looking for players so that we can. And guess what? If we're a first round draft choice, we're also making our millions. They are giving us the opportunity when they give us that ball to raise our numbers and improve our profits, our prestige, the legacy, the legacies we get to leave our families and loved ones, the time freedom, the money freedom that we get as a result of being a first round draft choice in the funding game. So think on it. Learn the rules of the game. This isn't rec ball, guys. This is not a pickup game in the streets. This is pro ball. And my job is to teach you how to be a pro baller, right? I'm the coach on the sideline that says, now I can only jump up and down and scream at you, but I know how to make you an amazing baller, an amazing player. How you can leverage your skills so that when you shoot, you score. On every credit line, every commercial loan, real estate loans, it does not matter the credit instrument. When they trust you, they will give you your money or give you their money. And the way they trust you is by you showing up with your stats. And I will teach you everything you need to know about how to improve your stats so that they look at you and said, boom, that is a number one draft choice. This is Merrill Chandler. It is amazing to spend this time with you, inspire you, and motivate you to become the professional borrower that you were meant to be. We only lack the knowledge. I will see you in the next episode. Hey guys, thank you for listening to Are You Effable? Please leave comments because I would love to read about your aha moments from this episode. And be sure to visit fundinghackers.com to view the blog post, get important links, join our community, and much, much more. And you gotta tell your friends about this podcast. We want them to become effable too.